Now we've sort of gone over a GM/ST Game Master/Storyteller 101 in the last video. I don't know if I'm going to go into more advanced concepts on this one, but things that are important for wanting to be a storyteller in any system, not just this one, but it will certainly help you with Community of Legends. The biggest thing is you've got to have a cool story you want your players to help you tell. You can't write the whole thing. You need a good beginning, and you need NPCs in the beginning and some things for them to meet along the way. And you need an ending in mind, but you can't railroad the ending. You have to be willing to let the players change the ending. Even in our modules, we'll probably put, or the ones that I ran, we had 3 or 4 different ways it could end. And generally you want all of your endings to be good endings for your games, even if those endings are dramatic endings. It's also very important to have player buy-in. You really, really need player buy-in. It's difficult to get. If you're going to an event that's being hosted by me, one of the other founders, or someone who's picked up this game, purchased it, and run it a long time, you can always try at someone else's event to run a short combat scene or roleplay scene. And you don't have to have a full story to storytell either. You can try your best to improv. I would recommend writing out at least a simple storyline and having a few names down on a piece of paper at a minimum. But you don't have to have something grand and elaborate to be able to start. Another thing, as the storyteller and the game master, you can't lose sight of the fact that you are also a player in your own way. You get to pilot all the NPCs. You get to sort of adjudicate what happens. Now, the numbers of the skill challenges and how the stacks work in Community of Legends means the players have a lot more agency to overcome anything you make a skill challenge. They can work together and overcome just about anything you set up intentionally, especially while people are learning. In the more complex games, the bigger it gets, if you get 30, 60 people playing a game like this, you almost need people who are players willing to step up and tell stories to burn the stacks that are getting generated and the instant skill usages that are getting generated, and to give people a reason to stop just hanging out and use what's being generated by hanging out. Now, the main goal of this game, at least for Community of Legends, is to be a social activity and an experience and a story that is told collaboratively. In a lot of tabletop games, the goal is to win some sort of encounter or beat some sort of big bad evil guy. And unless a lot of players at the event that you're at want that, you don't really need to tell that type of storyline. It's been done a lot. It's in a lot of systems built in to be the goal. They build it around combat. This one is not built around combat. Combat is an option that they have, but it is not, shouldn't be required. There should be ways around it. And if there's not, the combats should all be winnable within the main rule set. I know I've gone over it before, but this could be a new video for people. The big videos, the longer videos are now new content. I think a lot of people got used to the shorts being stitched together. These are all going to be original. I may be repeating some things, but again, how I got really, really good at DMing is by doing a lot of the same things again and again and again. So I guess I should follow this with some of my favorite things to use. Since most of my game running experience has been for a majority new players, or people that have only gamed a few times or only heard about it from other people. You really have to get that buy-in from your players. That's the most important part. You've got to be excited for what you're going to run. You got to have, oh, this is a cool NPC I've got, and be willing to let the players deal with them how they want to deal with them. But I've got a cool story. They've got cool characters. Make sure, if they have a one-sentence thing about their character, you look at their character, maybe jot down their number 1 skill, maybe their number 1 and number 2 skill. For Community of Legend, they'll only have 3 skills. But if you just take the one they have mastered, if you've got 5 people that want to go on your adventure, you're pulling them away from the crowd to go run your story for them, make sure that at least 1 or 2 of their skills is always part of the story, or a way that the story can be advanced or resolved or fixed, so that they have a chance to be as engaged in your story as you are. Because if their skills matter for your story, they're going to get plugged in. This is a big thing I learned over a lot of years. With new players, I would help them build their character, and then whatever story was in my head that I was excited for, I would look at their character sheet and go, all right, here's a skill, here's an ability that they have that would go great with the story that was already in my head. Or, ooh, their ability gives me a cool idea for the story that their ability can fix. That's a lot of how these skills are being built too. That they're getting skills that can be used to overcome things that would happen in stories, challenges that would happen in stories. So this should be one of the easiest systems to storyteller or GM in, and it should be very forgiving. Everyone's here to have fun. It's always the people behind the characters and the people running the stories and the people running the characters that's more important than some rule. Now, if people's feelings get hurt bad enough because of a rule being messed up, talk about it like adults, resolve it, and then get back into the game. Or if it offends somebody enough, you go, hey, this is my first time trying to storytell, or I'm pretty new to this, I made a mistake, can we go back and move forward as though that I had not made that mistake? And that should be perfectly fine. As both a player and as a storyteller and a GM, you need to be willing to make mistakes, and you need to be willing to make the story move from time to time. And when you make those mistakes, because everyone's there to have fun, it should be a learning experience, not a thing to bully people with. Which everyone's different, and everyone's at different levels of maturity. So you may have some folks that just can't take something being wrong or not handled correctly, and you let them step away a moment, come back and go, hey, this is a mistake I made, I'm learning. For this session, I probably won't make that mistake again. But I can tell you myself as a GM, there are times I'll come out of a session and a player will be confused because of something I did, and I'll go back and look at the rule and I'll go, yeah, I messed that one up. I'll try not to do that again. But with things like 3.5 and Pathfinder, there's a million little rules, and it is very easy if someone's, like if I'm playing at level everyone's level 13, I've got 6 level 13 characters in my game. They have 6, a minimum of 6 feats. They have spells and abilities that they selected that maybe I helped them start building their character, or maybe they built their character themselves and I've just sort of looked over the character sheet. I can only juggle so many things that I know that they can do. And sometimes they won't know. They'll be like, oh, I want to use this cool ability that's on my sheet. And I'll be like, oh, it's off the top of my head. Roll a d20. What's your modifier for this? What's your modifier for that? And keep the game moving. And then later on, they're like, well, I read it. It's supposed to work this way. Well, I'm sorry that I didn't handle that correctly. I'm trying to keep the story moving for a bunch of people. If you really want your abilities to work accurately, maybe read over them. Now, this system is not that clunky. It's kept very simple, very streamlined, so that making things up on the fly is a little bit easier. If you have questions for storytelling, send an email to the business. They'll send it to me. I'll make a video. I'll address it directly. If you are a storyteller or a GM and you want to share some of your advice, put it in the comments. Send it directly to our email, and make cool stories. Keep being awesome. No one can choose to be a cool person but you. So do it.